Look at this cabinet. Go ahead, run your finger across it. That's not dirt, that's grease. Years of it. Cooking oil, steam, dust, all of it baked onto the wood until it turned into this dark, sticky film that won't come off with a wet rag no matter how hard you scrub. I've been cleaning houses for over 20 years. My dad did it before me, and his mother did it before him. And in all that time, I have never seen a store-bought spray cut through grease like this cheap ingredient does. It costs about $2. It's probably already in your kitchen, and by the end of this video, you're going to watch it lift grease off wood that's been sitting there since before some of you were born. No gimmicks. No as seen on TV nonsense. Just something that actually works because I've used it on hundreds of kitchens. Let's get into it. Here's what happens in every kitchen, whether you notice it or not. Every time you cook, especially if you fry or saute anything, tiny particles of oil get released into the air. You can't see them. They float around the kitchen and they land on every surface they touch. Cabinets, floors, the tops of your fridge, the hood above your stove if you have one. On their own, those particles wouldn't be a huge problem. A little oil mist wiped down every week or two is nothing. The real problem is what happens next. Dust in the air sticks to that oil film. Then more oil lands on top of the dust. Then more dust sticks to that. Layer after layer, week after week, year after year, until you've got this thick, tacky buildup that looks less like a coating and more like a second skin on your cabinets. This is why so many kitchens, even ones that get cleaned regularly, still feel a bit off. People wipe their counters, they mop the floor, but they never touch the cabinet doors, especially the ones near the stove. And the ones near the stove are always the worst because that's where the most oil is being released into the air. I go into homes all the time where the owner tells me, I clean every week. I don't understand why it's still sticky. And I always ask the same question. When's the last time you actually washed the cabinet doors, not just wiped them with a dry cloth? Almost every time, the answer is, I don't remember or never. That's the first issue. The second issue is what people use when they finally do try to clean it. Most folks reach for an all-purpose spray, spray it on, wipe it off, and wonder why the cabinet still feels tacky 5 minutes later. Here's the truth about most of those sprays. They're built to clean surface dust and light spills. They are not built to break down grease that has bonded to wood over months or years. You end up smearing the grease around instead of removing it. It looks a little cleaner for a day, then the tackiness comes right back because you never actually broke down the grease. You just moved it. The same thing happens on floors, especially in kitchens with wood or wood-look flooring. Grease drips, splatters, or just settles out of the air and it lands right on the floor. Then people walk over it, track it into other rooms, and mop it with plain water or a floor cleaner that's meant for dirt, not oil. Water alone does almost nothing to grease. Oil and water don't mix, that's basic chemistry. So when you mop a greasy floor with just water, you're pushing the grease around in a thin film rather than lifting it off the surface. That's why some kitchen floors feel slightly sticky under bare feet, even right after mopping. That stickiness is grease residue that was never actually removed. So you end up with two problems stacking on top of each other. Grease that's had time to harden and bond to the wood, and cleaning methods that aren't strong enough to break that bond. That combination is exactly why so many wood cabinets and floors look dull, feel tacky, and hold on to smells no matter how often people clean them. Why this happens? The reason. To understand why regular cleaning fails here, you need to understand a little bit about grease itself, and I promise I'll keep this simple. Grease is oil, and oil is a non-polar substance. Water is polar. Polar and non-polar substances don't attract each other, they actually repel. That's why a drop of oil sits on top of a puddle of water instead of mixing into it. When you try to clean a greasy surface with just water, the water can't grab onto the oil molecules at all. It just slides right past them. You need something that can bond to both the grease and the water at the same time, so it can pull the grease off the surface and carry it away when you rinse. This is exactly what dish soap does, and it's the first half of the two-ingredient method I'm going to show you. Dish soap is designed specifically to break down grease. That's its entire job. It's built with molecules that have two different ends, one end that bonds to oil and one end that bonds to water. When you mix dish soap into water and apply it to a greasy surface, the oil-loving end of the soap molecule grabs onto the grease and the water-loving end lets it get rinsed away with the rest of the water. This is why dish soap works so well on baked-on grease in a pan, and it's exactly why it works the same way on grease baked onto wooden cabinets. But dish soap alone often isn't enough for grease that's been sitting for years. Old grease isn't just oil anymore. It's oil mixed with dust, grime, sometimes a little bit of cooking residue that's turned almost waxy. That's where the second ingredient comes in: baking soda. Baking soda is a mild abrasive. It's gentle enough that it won't scratch wood or finished surfaces when used correctly, but it has just enough texture to physically help lift stuck-on residue that soap alone might not fully dissolve. On top of that, baking soda is mildly alkaline, and grease breaks down faster in an alkaline environment. This is basic cleaning chemistry that professional degreasers rely on too. They're almost always formulated to be alkaline for this exact reason. So when you combine baking soda with dish soap and warm water, you get a mixture that attacks the grease two ways at once: chemically through the soap breaking the oil bond, and physically through the light scrubbing texture of the baking soda helping to lift what's left. Warm water matters here too, and I want to explain why, because people skip this step and wonder why their results are weaker than mine. Grease softens as it warms up. Think about bacon fat in a pan. Cold, it's a solid white block. Warm it up and it turns liquid almost instantly. The same principle applies to grease in your cabinets and floors, just on a smaller scale. Warm water helps loosen the bond between the grease and the wood before the soap and baking soda even go to work, which means less scrubbing and better results. That's the whole reason this combination works better than a spray bottle of all-purpose cleaner. You're not fighting the chemistry, you're using it. Store-bought sprays are made to be gentle enough for daily use on 100 different surfaces, which means they're diluted down and not aggressive enough for years of bonded grease. What I'm showing you today is stronger, cheaper, and honestly more predictable because you control exactly what's in it. One more thing before we move to the solution. A lot of people ask me if vinegar works just as well, since it's another cheap kitchen ingredient people love to clean with. Vinegar is acidic, not alkaline, and while it's great for mineral deposits, soap scum, and some kinds of buildup, it's not the right tool for grease. Acid doesn't break down oil the way an alkaline solution does. I've tested vinegar against baking soda and dish soap on identical greasy cabinet doors. Same age, same buildup, same house. The baking soda and soap side came clean in one pass. The vinegar side needed 3 passes and still left a slightly tacky film behind. So, save the vinegar for other jobs. For grease, you want alkaline, and that's baking soda paired with dish soap. Alright, let's get into exactly how to do this, step by step, the same way I do it in every kitchen I clean. What you need. You only need a handful of things, and you probably already have most of them. Baking soda. A small box will last you a long time. Dish soap. Any basic dish soap works. You don't need a specific brand, just something that's meant to cut grease. Warm water. 2 microfiber cloths or soft rags, one for applying and one for rinsing. A soft bristled brush. An old toothbrush works great for corners and detail work around handles and hinges. And a bucket, or just your sink. That's it. No specialty sprays, no expensive tools. Step 1. Mix your solution. In your bucket, mix warm water with a few good squirts of dish soap. You want it soapy, not just a splash. If your cabinets or floor are extremely greasy, make it strong. If it's more of a light buildup, you can go lighter on the soap. Then take a small bowl or cup and make a paste with baking soda and a tiny bit of water, just enough to turn it into a spreadable paste, not runny, more like a thick frosting. You'll use this paste on the worst spots, the areas right around the stove, the handles that get touched with greasy hands, the corners where grease pools and never get wiped. Step 2. Test a small area first. I say this in every video because it matters. Before you go at the whole cabinet, test your solution on a small hidden spot, like the inside edge of a cabinet door or a corner of the floor tucked under an appliance. Wood finishes vary. Some are sealed tight, some are older and more delicate. Apply your soap mixture, wait a minute, wipe it off, and check that the finish isn't lifting, discoloring, or getting dull. 99% of the time you'll be fine, but that 1% is worth the 30 seconds it takes to check. Step 3. Cleaning the cabinets. Start with your soapy water and a soft cloth. Dip the cloth in, wring it out so it's damp, not dripping, and wipe down the cabinet door in sections. Don't scrub yet, just get the surface wet and let the soap start breaking down the top layer of grease for about 30 seconds to a minute. Now, for the spots that are heavily built up, and you'll know them because they'll look darker, almost like a stain, take your baking soda paste and apply it directly with your fingers or the soft brush. Rub it in gently, using small circles. You're not trying to scrub hard, you're letting the baking soda do the physical work while the soap continues breaking down the oil chemically. Give it another minute to sit. After that minute, take your damp cloth and wipe the paste away, following the direction of the wood grain, not against it. You should start seeing the grease lift right off, and honestly, the first time you do this, it's a little shocking how much comes off a cloth that looked clean 30 seconds ago. Don't be surprised if you have to rinse and wring your cloth out several times per cabinet door, especially the ones right beside the stove. For the handles and hinges specifically, this is where your toothbrush comes in. Grease loves to hide in the grooves of handles and in the small gap where a hinge meets the door. Dip the toothbrush in your soapy water, work it into those tight spots, and you'll pull out grease that's probably been sitting there for years. Once you've worked through a section, go back over it with a clean, damp cloth using plain, warm water. No soap this time, just to rinse away any leftover residue. This step matters because leaving soap residue on wood can actually attract dust faster afterward, which defeats the purpose. Rinse, then dry the area immediately with a dry microfiber cloth. Don't let the wood sit wet. Wood and standing moisture don't get along, and you don't want to trade grease damage for water damage. Work your way around the kitchen one cabinet at a time. I know it's tempting to do the whole kitchen with your soapy water before rinsing anything, but grease redeposits fast, meaning if you let that dirty water and grease sit too long, it can settle right back into the wood grain as it dries. Section by section, rinse as you go. Step 4. Cleaning the floors. Same core method, slightly different technique because you're covering more ground. First, dry sweep or vacuum the floor completely. This matters more than people think. If you mop over loose dust and debris first, you're just turning it into mud and grinding it into the grease that's already there. Get the floor completely clear of loose dirt before you introduce any liquid. Next, mix your bucket of warm water and dish soap, same as before, soapy but not overloaded. Mop the floor as you normally would, but here's the difference. For heavily greased areas, usually right in front of the stove, in front of the sink, and near the trash can, don't just mop and move on. Let the soapy water sit on those spots for about 2 minutes before you go back over them. This gives the soap time to actually break the bond between the grease and the floor instead of just gliding over the top of it. For spots that are still sticky after that first pass, this is where the baking soda paste comes back in. Apply it directly to the sticky area, let it sit for a minute, then use your soft brush or a scrub sponge to work it in with small circles. You'll feel the texture change under the brush. It goes from a tacky drag to smooth almost instantly once the grease lifts. Once you've treated the worst spots, mop the entire floor again with clean warm water, no soap this time, to rinse away the residue. This second pass is what keeps your floor from feeling sticky again in a day or two. A lot of people skip the rinse mop and just let the soapy water dry on the floor, and that's actually one of the most common reasons floors feel gritty or slightly tacky again so soon after cleaning. The soap film itself, if left to dry on the surface, will attract new dust and grime faster than a properly rinsed floor would. Dry the floor with a clean, dry mop or towel afterward if you can, especially in corners and edges where water tends to pool. Standing water is never good for wood flooring, and even for tile or laminate, drying it fully just gives you a better streak-free finish. A few extra tips from 20 years of doing this. If the grease buildup is extremely old, we're talking cabinets that haven't been properly cleaned in 5-10 years or more, don't expect a single pass to get it all. I've worked on kitchens where it took 2 full cleaning sessions, spaced a few days apart, to fully break down decades of buildup. That's not a failure of the method, that's just how much grease had accumulated. Be patient, do a thorough first pass, and come back a few days later for a second round on any spots that still look dull. Also, once your cabinets and floors are actually clean, the maintenance is so much easier than the initial deep clean. A quick wipe down with warm soapy water once a week, especially the areas closest to your stove, will keep grease from ever building back up to the point where you need this heavier method again. Prevention is genuinely easier than the fix, but you have to actually do the deep clean first to get to a point where light maintenance is enough. One more thing, if you've got wood cabinets that feel dry or a little dull even after the grease is gone, that's actually a good sign. It means you fully stripped the grease film that was sitting on top of the wood. At that point, you can follow up with a small amount of wood-safe conditioning oil applied lightly with a soft cloth to bring some of the natural shine back. Don't do this before the grease is fully removed though, because you'll just be sealing the grease film in rather than treating the actual problem. And for anyone worried about smell, dish soap and baking soda leave no strong scent behind once you rinse, which I actually prefer over heavily fragranced sprays, because you're not just covering up the smell of old grease with perfume, you're removing the source of the smell entirely. That's the method. 2 ingredients, most people already have both of them at home, and it works better than anything I've bought off a store shelf in 20 years of doing this professionally. So that's it. Warm water, dish soap, and baking soda used the right way will pull years of grease off your cabinets and floors without needing a single expensive product. It's cheap, it's simple, and it's the exact method I use in real homes, not something I picked up from a random article. If this helped you out, go ahead and subscribe. I put out a new video like this every week. Real methods, tested in real homes, nothing fake and nothing exaggerated. I want to hear from you too. Drop a comment and tell me your biggest cleaning problem, the thing in your house that just won't come clean no matter what you try. I read through these, and a lot of my future videos come straight from what you all bring up in the comments. If you're dealing with buildup in other parts of your kitchen, go check out my video on cleaning stove hoods and range vents. It uses a similar approach to what we covered today, and it'll knock out one of the greasiest spots in your whole house. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.